I'm Wongster 1970, and today I'm going to be talking about my epoxy flooring that I had done in my garage. This garage is a 24 by 24 garage, 23 feet inside, squared, and it cost me around $6,000 to have it done. You can probably get a kit for $1,000. Then you're gonna have to use muriatic acid to roughen it up, and then you can put the epoxy coating down. So let's get started. Now, I'm not here to bash epoxy flooring because it is what it is. It's a good showroom looking platform which is kind of durable, but for what I use it for, it can be easily marred up, and you need to keep up with maintenance on it pretty much so that it keeps that nice look to it. You have to clean up any spills that you make immediately, and you can't get acetone on it because acetone will eat through the finish, and brake clean is supposedly pretty bad for it. Oil, gasoline, you get any of them on it, you got to wipe it up right away. And I'll show you what I use on it then, and I will show you what I think the disadvantages are of having an epoxy floor. If it's a working garage, if it's a garage that you just have your vehicles parked in, perfectly fine. No issues with that. But if it's something that you're going to be, like I said, if it's going to be a working garage where you're going to be using jack stands, if you're going to be doing any welding on it, you can't do welding because you have to put a welding mat down to protect the floor. In case you get sparks on it, they could burn through it. And there are some disadvantages. There are some advantages to it. So let's go and take a look at my floor. First thing I want to point out with epoxy flooring is whenever you get your quote, make sure that if you want what they call this is the skirting, if you want this done, make sure you let them know, because this was not included in the price. But they did seal all the cracks on the floor before they put this down. And this is like a white and blue fleck material that they put down, and then put 2 layers of epoxy coating, clear epoxy coating over it. There is a base coat, and then there is the flex. I think that's whenever they put it in after the base coat, and then or they put down an epoxy, clear epoxy, and then put another one over top of it. But yeah, I wanted to point that out to you. If you get this done and you want the skirting done, or whatever this is here, make sure you get that included in your quote. I didn't realize that. Next thing I'd like to talk about is cleaning. Epoxy flooring, you should not use harsh chemicals to clean the floor. This is what I use, this ammonia-based cleaner. I think there are other ones that you can also use, but they recommend using like an ammonia-based, which works fine for cleaning up just dirt and that. If you have an epoxy floor, I clean the floor probably every other time, or every time after I have a big repair that I'm working on, because I usually get a lot of dirt in here. And anytime that I have a spill from changing oil or something like that, I will use this Super Clean. Super Clean will take care of the oil, and it's not supposed to be hard on the flooring. It's made of biodegradable detergents to clean up any spills, and then I'll use this ammonia-based cleaner after I'm done with my repairs. So basically at the end of the night, after I'm done working on something, I'll go and use the ammonia-based cleaner. And you also have to use a mop, and I got a mopping bucket here that I use. So let's talk about how to prevent damage to your epoxy flooring. Okay, this is something that I learned the hard way. If you have a motorcycle, the kickstand will damage your epoxy floor. So make sure you get some of these coasters and put them down under all of your kickstands. I have one for my 84 Shadow 500. I have one for my 07 V-Star 1300, and I have one for each of the 83 Shadows, and the Shadow 750s. Same thing with the center stand. If you use a center stand, you have to put something down to protect the floor. I also did that. I put my center stand down and damaged the floor. You could use plywood. Plywood would be suitable. That's about it. Okay, here is another pad that I have, or a coaster, kickstand pad that I have on the V-Star 1300. And here's one on the 83 Honda Shadow 750. This is the parts bike. And you can see I have pads underneath there to absorb any oil that may drip off the bike, because you don't want oil standing on the epoxy flooring. It can damage the finish. Here's my other 83 Honda Shadow VT 750, and this one I have a square, I think it's 1/2 inch plywood that is protecting the floor. And I've also got a mat underneath there, and you can see where it looks like it's been dripping some oil. But you can get them, I think, like pig blankets or something like that. I'll show you what I got for it. Okay, this is the part number of what I got. I think I got these off of Amazon. These are absorbent pads. Let's see, comes with a box of a lot of them in there. So that's something you're going to need if you want to keep. It's what I would recommend for keeping oil off your floor. You can see the floor has a very nice reflective shine to it, and as long as you keep them clean and don't leave any material on them, liquids that are going to damage it, from what I understand, it will stay this way for a long time. Now, this came with a lifetime warranty against any defects in the epoxy coating. If I damage it, I'm not sure if that's going to cover it or not. It was damaged, they came out and they fixed it, so I appreciate that. I don't know if we can see. I can't. There were a couple spots that were damaged that they came out and fixed. You can see I got a little bit of dirt up there. I did mop that, but I must not have gotten it very. Let me see. I did mop that right there, but I must not have gotten it very good. Must have missed a spot. Another thing with the motorcycle lift. I've been using one of these pads underneath here. So whenever you screw down the stabilizer, it doesn't damage the floor. It's another thing you got to think about with epoxy flooring. And also jack stands. Use a jack stand. You can either build a base for the jack stand, or you can use like I did here with this 1/2 inch plywood. Just cut out a square that you can sit the jack stands on. Okay, floor jacks. I have not had any problems with this floor jack yet, putting any marks on the floor. But another thing you could do is put plywood down to protect the floor. I haven't, like I said, I haven't had any issues yet so far with the jack. And the other thing to talk about is what to expect when they come out to do the flooring. Last thing I'd like to talk about epoxy flooring is what to expect when you have the epoxy flooring installed. Expect for it to take an entire day, and everything has got to be out of your garage, obviously. You don't want anything on the walls that could potentially fall off. I had to move out the IROC, obviously. I took everything out, put it in a tent temporarily, which are under a canopy temporarily, which it would have been better if I would have been able to rent something like a U-Haul or something to temporarily put it in. I've also been told that some companies will actually rent one for you that you can put everything in until it's done. But anyways, I had to wait 3 days before I could walk on the flooring, and 7 days, I think it was 3 and 7. Anyways, it was 7 days before I could put anything heavy back in. Now it was 3 days I could put light stuff in. 7 days I could put all the heavy stuff back in. Toolbox, car, motorcycles, stand, all that. But anyways, that is my epoxy floor experience, and I just wanted to let everyone know what to expect if you get an epoxy floor. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little off from what I normally talk about, and stay tuned for more repair videos. I got some other ones coming up, so thanks for watching. Stay safe.